Thank you, Mike. As you mentioned, my name is Jackie O'Neill. I'm the Senior Product Manager at ADI for Pro AV, responsible for the US and Canada, all of our commercial suppliers, about 75 or so in total. Pro AV has very much been identified as a growth opportunity for our company, and it's relatively new to ADI as a business. I think the category is about 5 years old, and we really only see potential for growth going forward in the future. So thank you all for joining us on this call and being invested in this opportunity that we identify as something that will explode and expand over the next few years. We have a very large support system here at ADI. We've got a business development team led by Seth Evenson. We have about 12 business development managers across the US and Canada responsible for different regions. We also have an inside sales support team. We've got our technical systems group down in Louisville to answer all of your really tough questions. And of course, we've got over 100 branches across North America to meet and tend to all of your needs. Mike just wrote in the chat box a great reminder. If anybody has any questions throughout the webinar, please feel free to enter them. We may get to them at the end of the call. We should leave a few minutes there for Q&A. But with that, I'd love to turn it over to Sarah Williamson, who is our account manager at ADI representing LG.
Thank you, Jackie, and good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Not sure where you are all located, but glad to have the opportunity. LG definitely has some new products that have come out, so the timing is great. My presentation today, I'm really going to toggle back and forth between my slides and our product roadmap, so you can see where these new products are either going to take the place of some existing models, or where they're going to fill a gap where we may not have had that a product in that category previously. So with that, I'll just cover quickly, and this is a PDF, so I am going to scroll instead of just snapping forward to another slide, but I'll just cover in a slide or two why we're still, the applications and why people are choosing digital signage. This is an older slide. If any of you have been to the expos, it's one of my favorites, so I still keep it in there just to remind people of different areas to look for opportunity. Then I'm going to talk about why choose LG. We know that you have options, but we pride ourselves on our innovation and some of the unique technologies to LG. Then I'll go in an overview of our display categories, touch briefly on our LG Partner Program, which is a fantastic resource for you. And then I'll also talk about the contacts and the resources that we offer to you in the field. So with that, I will roll, whoops, let's see, is that the, yep, okay. So what is driving the adoption of digital signage? I think there are some very obvious ones influencing a buying decision. Obviously, that's going to be in your retail space. But also keep in mind that many folks are looking to digital signage to create an ambiance, whether it's in a restaurant or a nightclub. Branding opportunities, that goes hand in hand on the retail side, or just to create an energy. It may be in a lobby. We're really seeing digital signage explode. From a retail standpoint, sales lift can range anywhere from 50% to 300%. The movie theaters, unfortunately, right now, they're pretty much dead, but they were seeing a sales lift of up to 300% just by animating and making that static content digital, just because they could catch somebody's eye, and pouring a Pepsi makes it much more enticing than just staring at a cup full of soda. So improved branding 40%. The improved overall experience with digital over static is 80%, and then reduced perceived wait time. So if you think of a Disney World or some place where people have to wait in line for a long period of time, even at like AT&T when you're waiting to service your phone, people are using digital signage just to, you know, make that wait go by a little quicker, or appear to anyway. Another very important reason that people are going digital is for the operational gains. This is seen in your retail spaces that traditionally may have used static signage or static advertising. They need to have a publishing house that actually, they need somebody to create the content for those ads. They need to print them. They need to ship them to 1,500 stores. They need to have a team of people that go and install that signage. With digital signage, everything is remote and it can be updated on the fly. So definitely a cost savings that folks need to keep in mind when they are looking at that initial acquisition cost, the total cost of ownership. It pays itself off in no time. Opportunities for you. We are seeing in a post-COVID world, there are going to be plenty of opportunities for digital signage. LG has already put together some health-centered digital signage solutions, whether it's an embedded display in a kiosk with a sanitation station with wipes, or if it's just a matter of communicating, walk this way as opposed to this way, directing, you know, wayfinding and directing traffic in a certain pattern. There are absolutely going to be new areas of opportunity. So stay tuned for that. And then I just highlighted here, over 40% of shoppers say that digital displays, such as video walls, can influence their buying decision. So something great to keep in mind. I know there was a case study once where there was a shoe store and they had a wall full of sneakers, and it detected the display in combination with a camera and some software detects when the person that's shopping has been at the wall for, you know, maybe 2 minutes or so, and it'll pop up and say, need help selecting a shoe? And there's this intelligence that you can build in with complementary products to make these very engaging solutions that just make that buying experience that much more enhanced. Commercial versus consumer. This is simply just to tell you that I have this in a PDF file that I am happy to send to you. There are two here typically. I'm not going to go through them line by line, but if you need something that to send to any of your customers to help convey the message of why commercial is better than consumer, I am happy to share this document with you. The obvious ones that I always point out are the warranty period. Yeah, you can get a display at Costco or Best Buy, but your warranty with a commercial display is going to be typically, this is showing our older super sign, but you're going to have a 3-year warranty as opposed to maybe a 90-day or 1-year warranty. And then obviously the other features where you can lock out a remote control, things like that. You can have a welcome screen pop up. Those are things that folks don't think about when they're just looking at price. So at the end of this, you'll see my email address. Just shoot me an email and I'm happy to share any of this information with you. So why LG? I did talk a little bit about the exclusive technologies that we have. One is our IPS panel. So this is in-plane switching. It's a technology that many of our competitors actually use. So a way that you can test to see if a display has in-plane switching, if you push on the screen and it puddles, that is not IPS technology. IPS is much more stable. So if you push on the glass, you should not see any of that motion under the glass. You also don't get a blackening defect that in many of the early days, there were a lot of displays that if they got direct sunlight, the screen would blacken and degrade the image. And you also get a very true wide viewing angle with that IPS technology. Another exclusive technology of LG is our WebOS Signage. We are gradually building this into the majority of our product line. WebOS is system on a chip, so it really takes away the need for an external media player. Although for those companies who do want to have the redundancy with an external media player, you can absolutely use one. But the beauty of WebOS Signage is we have approximately 40 partners or more that have developed their CMS or their software for digital signage to run directly on our platform. Seamless, very, very easy, great user interface. You can customize it. There are different templates. So just another great out of the box kind of WebOS signage offering that you can extend to your customers. This is just a list of some of those software providers, and you'll see that many of them play in different vertical markets. So if you are working with somebody that does concession stand menu boards, or somebody very focused on retail, or I don't know, corporate lobby signage, we have a company that we can recommend in any of those vertical markets. Some of them, they really specialize in one of those lanes, and we can direct you to a few different options to consider just to narrow the list a little bit. So LG really prides itself on our innovative product offering. We definitely have the most innovative line, and I'm going to go through this part pretty quickly. We're not going to go line by all the key features on the left-hand side. My goal is to kind of give you an overview of what we have available through ADI today, just to get your mind going and help you think of customers who may be able to use some of this technology. So we just released our US 340C series. So if you have a customer who's looking for a very base level commercial TV that they can run digital signage on, it's going to be the US 340 series. As you can see, wide variety of sizes. And I'll show you, let's see if I can get this to work. I'm going to show you in our, there we go. Can everybody see that okay? I'm going to just assume yes, because I think everybody's muted, but.
Yeah, so we can see it.
Yes,
okay.
everybody.
Okay, so this is our, as I mentioned, everything's really kind of moving to 4K. That's industry-wide. There's no surprise there. And we've also followed suit with our entry-level commercial TV. So you'll see at the bottom our UT640S series, which has been out for a couple of months now. That's a great product, big seller. And it's 16 hours, 7 days a week, 4K resolution, wide variety of sizes. The only difference with the US 340C is that it has no Wi-Fi. So not only does that bring the price down, but it makes it an ideal solution for any customers such as government that may have a security issue with Wi-Fi. Rather than having to have us remove the Wi-Fi from the UT640S series, which we do on a regular basis for this type of customer, now they have an out-of-the-box solution that they can use. And then while we're on this screen, actually, I'll come back to this screen. I don't want to confuse you. So let's see, going on to the next one. This is the UT640S series. In the 640S series, this is the only product series for those of you familiar with the old SuperSign, which is basically our CMS or our digital signage software. The UT640S still allows you to run this signage for free on up to, I typically say 25 displays. Technically, it's more like 50 displays, but just think for a very simple digital signage installation, your customers can still use simple SuperSign, simple editor, and they can pull up the templates, they can populate it with their media assets, their pictures, they can type in the text, and then they can schedule it to run on a certain day of the week. So that is UT640S series only. And this is just a very typical template that you could create using that SuperSign software. You can actually, there's no internal storage on these displays, so you can create your content on your laptop, save it to a USB, plug it into the back of these displays, and you can actually clone them. So again, just a nice entry-level option. Along with the US series, we also came up with a new entry-level signage display on our, and when I say signage, it's really just not the commercial TV. There's no built-in tuner, but there is WebOS feature built into our new UL3G series. So this will replace the previous SE series, if any of you are familiar with that, on the monitor signage. Let's see, so the UL3G right here, it is a brand new product, but it's also going to replace some of the baseline signage displays that you'll see here. But it is, again, it's moved to 4K. The other one that I'll mention while I'm on this screen here is the SM3G. I don't have a slide on this one, but this is our 22-inch. So this is great for counter signage. If you think of a restaurant or convenience store, for suggestive selling right there at the register. This is a nice compact 22-inch that still has that WebOS feature built into the display. So you can run ads, you can run promotions, welcome messaging, anything like that. So hotel registration desks. It's just a nice small format. And then we go on to our mainstream, our 4K UH5E series. We are in a bit of a transition. We've got some very aggressive pricing right now through the end of the year. I would encourage you to ask any of your AV Razes at AV, or at ADI rather, about the back to work pricing. We do have some special pricing that is in place and available. Ask for it. And if you are not on the eligible list, we will get you added to that and give you access to that pricing through December. But we do have some very aggressive pricing out there on this series. So for the UH5E, let's see, I think that's 2 down. Whoops, nope, sorry, wrong direction. So you'll see, so some of our sizes, LG is currently out of stock on the 49 UH5E, but I know that those are in the channel, as are some of most, if not all of the other sizes. But in the next month or two, we're going to be transitioning to the UH5F series. Basically, the H denotes that we're going to have 28% haze on this display as opposed to 1%. And then there is going to be a chipset change in some of the sizes. Some will remain at that 4.0 and 1, and some will also go to the 4.1. It's not a major, it's no major chassis change or anything like that. The only thing is with the F, you will have a slightly different bezel. So just keep that in mind if your customers already have some of the E's deployed and they want to take a look at what the bezel is going to look like on the new one, we can certainly provide them with some pictures of that. And then the UM3DG, again, just a chipset change. This is just going to be a little less expensive because the brightness it's not at 500, it's at 350 nits, and there it's going to be 18.7 for the usage. Not quite as many sizes. And then we already talked about the UL3G, which would be the entry level in this, this series of product. Video wall displays, ADI does a really a great deal of work with our video wall displays. We have these bundles that are put together as we come out with new video wall products. We try to update our video wall bundle flyer as quickly as possible. So if you ever have any questions on the latest and greatest and we don't necessarily have a PDF on it yet, just call one of us. We can certainly let you know if there are any other new bundles if you don't see what you're looking for. But these bundles are just a nice all-in-one. They include the mount, all the cables needed, and they come in a 2x2 and a 3x3. We typically offer these for the biggest sellers in our video wall lineup. So just a nice, easy way to order these video walls that seem to be pretty common in terms of configuration. Another resource that we have for you is our video wall configurator. You can find this at lge.com. Just make sure anytime you go on to lge.com, you click in the top right corner on business. Otherwise, you will see nothing but consumer products. But this just allows you to go in, you click on it, tell them the size of the wall that you're working with. I don't think it takes into consideration budget, but it will give you different ideas on what to do in that space and give you also some product recommendations. So okay, this rolling thing is not as easy as a slideshow, but we do have touch displays. So we actually have capacitive, resistive, depending upon what your application is, whether they have a gloved finger or whether they are using a stylus or just their bare finger. We can accommodate, if we don't offer it as an everyday product in our lineup, we have a handful that are, but if we don't, we do have partners such as TSI Touch that can sell through ADI, and we can get you, whatever it is that is most appropriate for your customer's installation. This is kind of the buzz of the industry also this year and going forward. I think this is expected to be probably 50 to 60% of most of the commercial display vendors' business over the next years. Direct view LED signage. We have a wide variety, as you can see from these pictures. We have indoor, we have outdoor, we have several different pixel pitches depending upon the viewing distance. We also have these direct view all-in-one bundles, which they've come down already just this year. They've come down almost about 40%. So pricing is definitely better and makes it a more attractive solution. We are offering currently a 130-inch, but we will begin shipping a 136-inch all-in-one towards the end of November. These, as you can see in that picture at the bottom, they are serviceable from the front, very easy, pop it off with a magnet, do what you have to do and either replace just that module or, whatever it is that you have to fix in there and pop it back on. There are speakers that are right there in the front. They're integrated into the display, so you don't have to have any cords for any external speakers. You don't have to run any external audio unless, you have a huge meeting space and they want that, but it truly is all in one. And you can also mount it on a wall or we have a stand for it, as you can see in the picture there. This next one is really just kind of an idea generator. For those of you who are at Infocom, you may have seen the waterfall on the left. On the right, it's really a lobby that is using several of our products. You can see the direct view LED there in the main portion. But if you look and see the clouds, the blue clouds, that's actually our transparent film. So those are like 9 by 12 inch adhesive stickers, for lack of a better term, that have LEDs running up and down them. And you can affix those to any existing glass door or window side of a building. And they are full color and very customizable. So just really, really cool. You can see through them, so they're transparent, but you can also show an image. And this is key in areas of a town where maybe they have an ordinance about how much signage you can have. By having this dynamic signage that still has a transparency to it, you can get around those rules and restrictions for some of your customers. We also have our laptops shown here and our desktop monitors, all of which, you know, we do sell through ADI. So keep that in mind if you ever have a need for those. They have access to our full lineup. One of our new products this year is the transparent. This was again a huge hit at Infocom. This is a transparent display that you show this image on. This is not flexible like the film. It's a piece of glass. You can, you know, for retail purposes or here in this auto showcase, it's just kind of that wow factor. You can display the features of whatever it is you're presenting, but also show the actual item itself. I was on a webinar yesterday and it was pretty interesting, and they were saying how key this product will be in the post-COVID timeframe when people are still needing or feeling more comfortable with a barrier between them and their customer. You know, maybe this will be an option for them. Just another example of how the transparent displays are used here in a museum, here on a set, and then in a retail application. Another one of our innovative product series are the ultra stretch displays. So we have an 86 and an 88. You may see these in some malls or for wayfinding. I think I have a picture in the next slide of it being used on a Peerless four-sided mount. And then also I've seen installations where people use these with full-size models walking the runway. Just really cool, eye-catching, more of a design feature. They can also be split into 2 displays as well. So this is the one on the right. You can have the same image on 2 sides or 4 sides, or you can split up your screens like they have here. I've seen it also where touch has been integrated to make it more of a wayfinding interactive kiosk. And then we have outdoor displays. So we recently just came out with our 4 series. We're doing, let's see, Burger King is using our displays now for the outdoor, and we're doing McDonald's indoor menu boards, but these are full IP56 rated for weather, high and low temperatures, full, you know, rain. They can withstand a full force wind. So just keep in mind, know that we have these available. We also have window facing displays, which you wouldn't necessarily put them outside in the elements, but you can put them in a window. So if you walk up to a subway or something, it can be facing out. It's ultra bright so you can see it, and it can also withstand direct sunlight and it won't degrade the image. Digital whiteboards. This goes hand in hand with our Touch series product. This is an 86 inch, and it does allow you to collaborate with others in your room. There's I'm not sure of the exact term, but it's like a screen share where you can collaborate and go back and forth. And then just some other very cool, this Dubai Aquarium, very immersive feeling. That was direct view LED. And then Fremont Street Experience, this may have transitioned by now, but another very cool. So our products, you can face them face down and face up. Some don't think of that, but they are built to withstand, that degree of installation in terms of it won't harm the display in any way. So tools and resources, we have our partner program. For those of you who are not part of the partner program, I highly recommend that you sign up. It takes about 5 minutes, and it is, let's see, I think it's, I don't know if it's on here. Oh yeah, at the bottom here, you'll see partner.lge.com. And again, make sure you're on the North American US site and not global. And that will help narrow it down for you. But if you sign up for this, you'll get direct access to all of our current promotions. That includes spiffs for the dealers and all of our instant rebates. And then there are certain tiered levels based on your overall LG purchases that down the road you can earn MDF dollars to be used for your marketing efforts with your customers. In addition, you have access to, this is what the site will look like when you log on, but you have access to all of the documents, all spec sheets, all kinds of marketing materials that you can print out and send electronically rather to your customers. Lookbooks for specific vertical markets. I could go on, but it's just a great resource for you. And then I am happy to share this as well if anybody wants it. This is a sales map that shows you who is in your territory, who's responsible for your territory. These are all the LG field reps. We also have some vertical reps that are plugged in here and there as well for education, government, financial, retail. There's a handful of them, and I'm happy to put you in touch with any of those folks that you may be working on projects for. But just feel free to reach out to these guys. They're our feet on the street. They are starting to travel a little bit again. So I would encourage at the very least to just reach out, introduce yourself, ask them any questions that you might have. And then your dedicated team, myself as the channel manager for ADI. And there's my email address, Jackie O'Neill, who you have met. You met at the top of the presentation. And then Laura Jackson is really my right hand. She is our inside support. So she does a great job of tracking orders and providing availability on specific products, things like that. And that is it for my presentation. But with that, I am going to, before we touch on the Q&A, I'm going to introduce Sean Dixon. He's the director of AV programs for ADI. And I think he just had a little bit of information he'd like to share.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you everyone for jumping on today's webinar. As we mentioned at the top of the hour, type your questions into the Q&A box. I see one that we'll get to here in just a moment from Joe, so hang tight. But yes, thank you, Sarah, for the introduction. I'm Sean Dixon. I manage AV programs here at ADI. I see at least one other Dixon on the call, so it's nice to see another Dixon. There's not that many of us in the business, so thanks for joining, Mark, today's call. Hopefully I'll get to meet you at some point down the road. So I manage a couple of different programs. One of them that you may or may not be familiar with is AV Elite. AV Elite is a dealer reward program that gives you an opportunity to earn a year-end rebate for hitting a certain threshold in business with the group vendors. So if you'd like more information on it and you're not in the program, you can log into the dealer side of our website, go to my account, and you'll see it listed there. Just click on AV Elite and you'll get a lot of information. But also feel free to drop an email to avelite@adiglobal.com, and we'll certainly get back with you with more information that way as well. Also at the top of the hour, Jackie mentioned our systems group down in Louisville a little bit. If you have not used them, really for more than 25 years, they've been helping dealers with system design, bill of materials, really helping you spec out projects. So if there's an area that you're not comfortable with or a category you're not comfortable with, maybe you're already on a job site and you're getting asked to do some other discipline that's not your core competency, definitely tap into those folks down there. They can definitely help you in all the different categories that ADI is in, from Pro AV, Resi AV to obviously, some of our core business like intrusion, CCTV, access control, and so forth. So we also have a group in Canada as well. So feel free to tap into either one of those groups. More information can be found on our websites on how to get a hold of them. And again, just wanted to thank everyone for your time today, and also check back. I'm sure Mike will talk about this in a moment, but check back on to our website regularly as we list all of our future webinars, and you'll see this one posted up here probably by next week sometime as well. So let's get on to some questions, and again, feel free to type any more into the chat box or the Q&A box that you might have. But first one here is from Joe. Will there be digital signage non-touch now with the new norm, like scanning a barcode from the signage? Sarah, do you want to take that one?
Sure. As of today, we do not have an out-of-the-box solution for that. That is all LG, but you can do, I think that's a great idea. It's probably in the works, if not already out there, but it would take a complementary vendor in terms of the scanning piece, and they'd need to bundle that with our display, but our displays do not have that feature built in as of today.
Could they put they could put a QR code though, couldn't they, on the digital signage, like if they wanted it to link to?
Yeah, I'm sorry, is that what you're asking? I was thinking you were asking for the actual scanner built into the display.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah, maybe that's what Joe was, he meant QR code. Okay. Yeah, so I think I've already seen some digital signage in places doing that today. So that is definitely something that's absolutely doable. Go up and just scan it with your phone, get more information.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check here. Okay. Any other questions coming in? Feel free to type them in. Thank you, Joe, for those questions.
And if anybody has any interest in the roadmap for the video wall, I realized I didn't continue through the roadmap past our new products where those were going in, but I can certainly share that if I can click through that if anybody's interested.
Sarah, would you speak a little bit more slowly again to the partner program? The screen was kind of small.
Oh, sorry.
Everybody gets the opportunity to write that down and look it up when it's convenient.
Yes, I apologize. I did not expand that, but it is LG Pro. And let's just see how close I can get to that specific slide. Oh, there it is. So it is our partner program. It's called LG Pro. It takes about 5 minutes to sign up, and it's partner.lge. Let me expand this. Whoops. Can you see that?
Yeah, it's a lot easier to see now.
Okay, so partner.lge.com. And you will also be notified of our web series. So we do from time to time, at least once per month, LG Pro will put on a webinar series, just different topics, obviously every month. Yesterday was our OLED product. So you'll be notified of all of those as well.
Sarah, we have at least one person, maybe more, on from Canada. Would they go to that site as well, or would that be a different?
Yeah, they can go to
site for
that
them?
as well, and it will allow you to select North America, and it will, in the drop down, they can choose Canada. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and then this is just the roadmap for anybody who may have been interested in, I think there were a couple more, just our video wall products. We'll be having a transition here in the next couple of months. Really just a chipset change for the most part. And these are our specialty products. A lot of these are build to order, so you'd have to count on, you know, a 12-week lead time too. So keep that in mind. But we have our transparent and we have our transparent open frame if you ever want any that bend. We ship those with the frame kits. And then this jig here on the right to bend them. All kinds of cool stuff. And our touch products, oops, sorry. No major changes here. Just want to make sure I cover everything. Yep, and we have our external media player. So that's pretty much it.